A room. Oh, hi Metal Sonic. What's up? Why are you doing another fruit video? Because it's about Scrooge and it's near Christmas and Scrooge from the Christmas Carol, you know? They even did that. So what's up with your voice? None of okay, I'm just gonna get into this.
Today we're answering one of cartoon's longest standing questions. Just how much money does Scrooge McDuck have in his money bin? But first, there's something I wanted to do since I was like age 7. Taking a page out of your book, buddy. Let's do this!
I wonder how hard that is.
Film theory, ooh. Charts and memes, shattered childhood dreams.
Film theory, ooh.
YouTube ads paid for by ads. For this episode, which is sponsored by Disney XD, it's Film Theory, ooh. Hello, Internet. Welcome to, you get it by now.
Film Theory,
if you were a child of the 90s, hearing that theme song gives you the nostalgia.
But I really want to watch it.
DuckTales was then and still is great. I mean, it created the childhood fantasy of swimming through a literal pool of gold coins, which, now that I've done it, it's still awesome, but whoo-wee, is it a workout. Old Pat Pat here didn't know what hit him. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the show, DuckTales stars Donald Duck's uncle, Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck? The bajillionaire?
The cheap jerk.
0.0001% of 1%ers, with a skyscraper literally filled with gold that overlooks his city of Duckburg. You know you're rich when a tax for the wealthy is named after you. That's right, the Dutch word of the year in 2014 was Dagobert Duck Tax, actual legislation named after Dagobert Duck, the Dutch name for Scrooge McDuck. But it wasn't always that way. Scrooge is a testament to the value of hard work, starting as a poor shoeshine who got sick of being taken advantage of by heartless customers, insisting that the only valid way to acquire wealth is to earn it square. And about that, Scrooge McDuck's word is as good as gold. And that grit and determination paid off, making him officially one of, if not the richest cartoon character ever created. According to countless online lists, including Forbes, the business magazine. He started from the bottom, and now he's here. So he is, quite literally, Drake. Or, more accurately, a Drake, since Drake is the name for a male duck. Alright, but let's get real. Although everyone knows Scrooge is enormously wealthy, the actual sum of money he has is really unclear. According to the 1956 comic, The Second Richest Duck, Scrooge is worth $1,623,623.62. A number that gets updated in the 12-comic series The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck to 5 multiplijillion, 9 impossibillion, 7 fantastica-trillion and 16 cents. Then, if those numbers weren't ridiculous enough for you, in Season 2, Episode 6 of the original DuckTales TV series, the episode Liquid Assets, Fenton Crackshell, Scrooge's accountant, says that the McDuck money bin contains...
I don't know. That's a drug. He's mad. 35?
Excuse me, Fenton. I just said he had 5 multiplijillion. Are you telling me that he lost $323 fantillion overnight? Come on! I think someone here forgot to carry a 1. But all joking aside, obviously none of these are actually answering our question. How fat are Scrooge's stacks in real terms? Multiple outlets have tried to calculate his worth, they just don't do that good of a job with it. For instance, Forbes magazine in that richest fictional character list estimated Scrooge's earnings in 2007 to be $28.8 billion, then bumped it up to $44.1 billion in 2011 due to the rise in gold prices. But they never actually say where they got those sorts of numbers. The website The Billfold uses cool equations, but misses out on just how deep Scrooge's money bin is. So, with a reboot of the series coming to Disney XD on August 12th, one that Disney XD sponsorship of this episode aside legitimately looks great. Seems to stay true to the spirit of the original series and has a very cool comic aesthetic, so as someone who grew up on these cartoons, I hope it does really well. Check it out if you're interested. And the question still at large after all of these years, it is time to put my theorist hat into the ring and answer the age-old question, just how much money does Scrooge McDuck have in that famous money bin of his? Now,
It's a weird
obviously, with the
shape.
Disney XD series coming out, I wanted to start there. Unfortunately, because it's not out yet, footage right now is limited to the trailer, the opening theme song,
Holy
and a
hell,
couple
a
of
golden
spare
dragon.
teasers. So, I'm not really able to get a good sense of the dimensions
I feel
inside
like
the
because I
bin,
need
but
to
that
holy
doesn't
hell.
mean we're out of luck. Not only
I
do we
love
get a
that.
good general sense of the size and shape of the bin from the outside, looking very similar to the design from the original TV series, the trailer gives us our first major clue. And I do mean major. This is, according to my research, the first time the series has put a real-world number to Scrooge's wealth, putting it in the trillions. But when it comes to money, that's a huge number. Over 20 times the highest estimates Forbes gave him. So today we won't just be testing out how much money he has, but also how well this new reboot knows dear old Scroogey. Usually when I'm writing these theories, I need to scrape around
Is
for
that a
whatever
Scrooge,
information I can find. This theory
thingy?
actually has the opposite problem. For the first time in the history of these shows, there's too much information. The statistics you see about the
Oh,
money bin
no.
are constantly changing in both the comics and the original series. For instance, in the very first panel of the comic Only a Poor Man, we see a depth gauge in the money bin that reads the building is 79 feet deep with coins and bills. Not a shabby place to start.
Like a
In another
porpoise.
comic, The Pixelated Parrot, we get a ton of information.
Ah!
Or more accurately, 90 tons of it, since that's supposedly how much cashola Scrooge is keeping in the bin. And earlier in that same comic, we see him counting his money again, confirming he has 9 billion trillion and two $1,000 bills stored in his vault. We even get in yet another comic that he has 3 cubic acres of money. Obviously a joke, since an acre is a measure of area and not volume. If you did indeed have a cubic acre, you would have created a 4-dimensional space, a 3-dimensional space existing in a specific time frame. At that point, screw how much money he has, the size of his wealth would seriously be ripping through the laws of the universe. There are even blueprints of the money bin. In the 2001 comic, The Beagle Boys vs. the
Wow.
Money Bin, we learned that the vault is actually a 13-story building that's 127 feet tall with a large central chamber reserved for the coins. That would be great information, but the cube design is completely different from what I'm most interested
like
in.
a
The TV
actual
show's
thing.
bin, both in the original
Like just
series as
real
well as
life
the
if I
reboot,
ever
which we
become
can
rich.
see is taller and more narrow. So with so much conflicting information, what do? Well, the way I see it, we go to the most reliable source on the matter. Episode 15 of Season 1 of the original DuckTales TV show, The Money Vanishes. In it, we see the criminal family, the Beagle Boys, trick Scrooge into dousing his money with a teleportation spray. It's a plan that's so successful, they're able to clear the vault of all its money, leaving
Not all of it.
penniless at the bottom. 20 minutes and 40 seconds into that episode, we get the clearest shot of the complete volume of the money vault that we ever get across the entirety of the series. And even better, Scrooge is in it. So if we're able to identify his canon height, we'll be able to get a sense of scale to this entire scene. No weird exterior shots, no guessing about the accuracy of offhanded remarks, just one scene that shows us the complete inside of the vault and gives us the means to measure it. A theorist's dream. So question 1,
Depending if
how
you actually-
tall is Scrooge? Thankfully this has an official answer, but you gotta dig deep for it.
Nah,
In the
that was Paul's
1963 comic, For Old Dime's Sake, we see villainous Magica De Spell put Scrooge to sleep. And then Old Dime's Sake, we see
Gold, dust, silver, powder. I'm gonna slap you, my good man. Too cheap to buy a taxi. But I'm gonna make a freaking salad out of what? Out of this.
villainous Magica De Spell put Scrooge to sleep, and then measure him so she can assume his identity and sneak into the vault. According to that panel, he's just about 3 feet tall, or 0.91 meters. Now, to translate that information to the money bin. We see in the blueprints for the money bin that the ladder that leads to the bottom is officially canon. So if we know the height of the ladder, we can get an accurate read of the entire building. In that scene from The Money Vanishes, between counting the rungs you can see and estimating the ones that are either just slightly off screen or aren't clearly defined near the top of the animation, you get about 30 rungs total on the ladder. But how far apart are those rungs? To figure that out, we have to go back to the very first episode. In that episode, we see Scrooge using the ladder to pull himself out of the bin, with each rung gap about a third of his height. With Scrooge being 3 feet tall, that means each rung is about 1 foot apart, and the ladder as a whole being just about 30 feet tall.
Huh.
That seems low to me, so let's double check using some of that other information we have. In the very opening seconds of the very first episode of DuckTales, we see the actual depth gauge to the vault, and it shows 70 deep. Seeing this, I was heartbroken, but then I realized 70 what? 70 feet? It can't be because we see Scrooge in the background. If we were to measure his size relative to that depth gauge, he'd be 20 feet tall. Wario? And remember, that's with Scrooge further back in the shot.
Wario loves money.
He's even smaller
Scrooge
relative
is
to the
rich.
depth gauge than he normally would be.
Oh my
and
God.
if 3 foot tall Scrooge is 20 markings on the depth gauge, that means 70 markings is only about 10 feet deep of gold, even less than before. So it would appear consistent scaling in this world is going to have more issues than Teen Vogue. That's a magazine with a lot of issues. Just so you know, it was meant to be funny, but no, the cringy puns are just too real, you guys.
No, I love
We have a little
puns.
bit of a dilemma here. We have a lot of conflicting informations, and I want to go big for today's theory. I mean, Disney XD paid me to do this episode, and as you all have heard on this show time and time again, they never invite me to cool premieres or anything. So this is my chance to really
about it more
impress
than
them. Love me, Disney XD.
Finance.
So to be super thorough and
God.
earn Disney's undying awe at the lengths that we go to on this show, I'm going to power through every conceivable calculation I can to see the range of money that Scrooge McDuck might be hiding in this thing. Cue the clock. Method number 1, depth gauge. Using the depth gauge ruler, we can Photoshop that guy out of its pile, scale it appropriately, then use a few different angles to figure out the rest of the dimensions of the bin. Knowing that 20 marks on the gauge equals about 3 real feet, we get a money pile that's 10 feet deep, 20 feet wide, and 21 feet long. That's 4,200 cubic feet of coinage. Method number 2, the ladder method. Knowing Scrooge is 3 feet tall, we can calculate the entry to the vault as a circle with a diameter of about 8 feet. That allows us to measure out the walls, which become 20 and 32 feet respectively. Couple those numbers with the pile that's 30 feet of gold, and we get a stack of cash that's 19,200 cubic feet. Method number 3, blueprints. Since Scrooge is always diving into his money, we know the actual depth of the coin stack is about 9 floors in a basement level. And with the whole building being 12 floors above ground and 127 feet tall from ground level, each floor is going to be about 10 feet. 10 feet times 10 levels equals about a 100-foot tall mound of money. Looking deeper at the blueprints, we can see the width of the bin is just under 120 feet, and the length of the bin is 120 feet minus 30 feet for the office rooms, making it 90 feet wide. Discounting 2 feet on each side for the thickness of the walls, you get dimensions of 86 by 116 by 100, or 997,600 cubic feet. Method number 4, 3 cubic acres. Even though it's a completely made-up number, we can try to extrapolate meaning out of Scrooge saying that he has 3 cubic acres of money. An acre is 43,560 square feet, meaning that if we assume each side of this cube of money is 1 acre in area, the side length is going to be about 208.7 feet. Cube it, and you get a volume of 9,090,972 cubic feet. So at 3 cubic acres, Scrooge's money bin would have contained 27,272,960 cubic feet in size. This number will be really fun when we do the final totals. Shiver my shekels, that is a ton of gold.
I'm almost out of time,
Disney.
sorry.
Well, don't answer just yet, because this gamer truly does have a guide to everything. That's another show on Disney XD, by the way. And true to that title, we're going even deeper down this rabbit hole. Because what we just calculated is the volume of space in the vault across all
I
different
didn't
scales
realize
we
you got
have.
sponsored by
Buy a
Disney?
solid block of money down there, and that's not precise enough. This is a bunch of coins, randomly stacked coins. And as myself witnessed when hopping into the DuckTales vault for myself,
That looks like it hurt.
those coins. So in my attempt to really impress you, Disney, I went and read a bunch of papers with really boring sounding names until I found the one. From Princeton, a paper with, I gotta admit, my favorite title of all time, some observations on the random...
Okay, we gotta leave it off here. I don't have a minute of recording left. Okay. I'm gonna leave you guys with a question. Eggnog or root beer? Please, tell me. I mean, 100% honest. Eggnog or root beer? I love them both. Though I love eggnog more, I mean. And leave it in the comments down below and say why you love it. Second, who would win in a fight? Metal Sonic or Shadow Mario? Goodbye, I guess.